Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, word to my brethren all around the world watching this video. Hope you're having a great day today as you're watching. Wanted to talk about just this fight that people in YTBC, people in the boxing community at large can't seem to stop talking about, and that is Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. Now, that is a matchup that is, as the days go by, as the months pass by, as the fights pass through, boxing fans are many boxing fans. I'm not saying everybody because you can't make generalizations, but a vast percentage of boxing fans are mesmerized by the potential welterweight matchup between Terence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. Now, let me say this about Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford meeting up. Obviously, I believe the timetable we have roughly a year and a half to 2 years waiting for this fight. I don't think it's going to happen right away because of the promotional things. I hope it just happens, honestly. But the way I see that fight is this, and this might be crazy, but it's just my perspective. So you can give me yours in the comments. But I'm gonna give you yours in the video. So, Errol Spence Jr., tremendous American welterweight. Terence Crawford, tremendous American welterweight. Still has some proving to do at welterweight, but has the talent, and he looks the part of becoming a tremendous American welterweight. I mean, he looked great against Jeff Horner there. So with that being said, man, the way I see this fight, heading into the future, the way I see this fight, I think this fight has a chance to be this generation's version of Sugar Ray Leonard versus Tommy Hearns. I'm not saying that these guys are as good as those fighters or better or anything like that. I'm saying it could be this generation's version of that fight, because that fight right there was a massive fight, a mega fight, a super fight between two guys that were obviously in their primes, two guys that were top-level fighters in the division who also just so happen to be from states. So I think it's amazing, man, the fact that we have potentially a fight here in America that we maybe not in terms of media hype, because let's be honest, Terence Crawford nor Errol Spence have become those kinds of stars as of yet, and the jury's still on whether either one of them will become those kinds of stars. But at least for the hardcore boxing fans, it's good that we can finally say, man, in America, between two American fighters, this is a super fight, because a lot of people are looking at this fight as that. And as you guys can see, I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but ever since Errol Spence's fight ended against Ocampo, and even simultaneously, they've both been doing a lot more media recently. Spence has been doing more media. He even said in a bunch of interviews that after the Ocampo fight, he was going to be going on a media tour. So he's been doing a lot of interviews. Crawford, which is on the Breakfast Club. So you can see that these guys are definitely, at least now, there seems to be more of a concerted effort to try to build their profile here in the States, and as they should, man, as they should. Whenever this fight does happen, I don't know when it's going to happen. Personally, being a boxing fan, I would love to see this fight happen today, if they could. But I also understand the business side of boxing. I understand that, look, these guys are not big name, not as big as they could be. And especially for Crawford. Crawford just got to welterweight, So give him some time to build himself up at welterweight. Give Errol some time to clean up his side of the street, as he was saying. And they'll meet when the time is right. And I hope it's a fight that happens, because it has a chance to be what Sugar Ray Leonard versus Tommy Hearns was. That was a very memorable fight. A lot of people loved that fight, and those guys needed each other to move on and cement their place in the history of the sport. So there's that. It could do. I think that fight right there could do a lot of good for American boxing, because Errol Spence seems to be doing a good job for himself in Dallas. He just had his first fight at the Cowboys practice facility, which is massive. The Cowboys seem to be behind him. Jerry Jones seems to be behind him. You're probably going to get Errol Spence fighting at least once in Dallas every year, which I think is good to build his profile in his city. So who knows, man? Maybe, we talked about in the last video that I made with Mike Garcia about him fighting at Marlins Park and boxing going to different markets. Markets that you wouldn't consider the traditional boxing markets. Like Vegas, LA, New York. Those are like the traditional boxing markets. The three fight towns right now. The three cities in America where the big fights are normally held. So if Errol Spence could actually continue to become a draw in his own state, and we know Terence is a big draw in Omaha. But more so for Errol because Dallas is a big city. There's a lot of potential for Dallas, especially with the Cowboys being behind him, Jerry Jones being behind him. Maybe Dallas is a place one day where they could consider having that fight. We just don't know, but the possibilities for that fight are endless. And just for the fight itself, from the stylistic standpoint, when we talk about Terence Crawford, we're talking about a very talented boxer puncher, a very talented just guy that likes to go in there and beat you down, man. He can beat you down. He can box. He can bang. He's a very, very talented fighter. Terence Crawford is a very talented fighter. He seemed to get better with time, particularly fighting on the inside. So that's been one, great thing to see from him in his development as a fighter. And then as far as Errol Spence, man, I think the world of Errol Spence. I think Errol Spence is a very talented fighter. I think not just and it's more than talent. I think he's just very fundamentally sound. I think defensively responsible. He ticks the boxes for me of being an A-level fighter. It's just about at this point, we want to see him in there with those perceived A-level guys in those big fights, like we did with Kell Brook. And we want to see just how good Errol Spence is. So, the more I think about this fight, the more and more I want to see it happen. And that's what it is. But to be honest, I'll have the video. I'll have that video coming out soon. I'll give my reasons. I think Errol Spence is gonna beat Terence Crawford because I think once they fight, Terence be too old. So that's just my opinion. You guys get another video on that coming soon. So stay tuned for that. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, is it the Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard of this generation? I think it has a chance to be. Just a lot of things got to go their way, and they got to keep winning and looking impressive, looking sensational, and building that interest up. And then let me at the right time, So we'll see what happens, man. Just got to be patient as a boxing fan. I know it kind of sucks, but it's the nature of the sport, it's the nature of the business. And let me know what you guys in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and like I say in every video, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just kidding from being it. So until next time, take care, guys.